what they saw changed everything. All right. This reading is about a moment in time, not a conversation, not a confession, a moment where they saw something that changed the energy of the entire dynamic. It wasn't planned, it wasn't dramatic, but it hit them. It was something about you, something about how you moved, how you looked, how you carried yourself, caught their attention in a way they weren't prepared for. And whatever they thought that they had understood about this dynamic relationship, whatever, sort of came crumbling down. So go ahead and choose the pile that you feel pulled towards. Pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. Of course, we're going to start with pile 1. Okay, pile 1, welcome. This feels competitive. So let's see. Give her a little shuffle. This feels like something immediate, nothing that's like slowly, like a slow burn relationship. This is fast. A moment in time, they saw something and their body sort of had a knee-jerk reaction before they could even address it with their words. I see someone like standing straighter up than usual, like someone that looks good, not try hard good, not revenge good, just good. Grounded, comfortable, present, like, and they were not prepared for that because in their head, you were still slightly leaning towards them. You were still reachable. You were still somewhat emotionally like leaning towards them. And then they saw you laughing, talking, confident, being desired by other people. And something in their chest pulled them tight, like snapped inside of them. It like clenched, their jaw clenched and their stomach dropped. Like I can literally feel tension in my jaw right now. It wasn't heartbreak. It was somebody that was irritated. Like, why do they look this comfortable? How dare they be? Because this person had positioned themselves above you emotionally. They thought they had the upper hand in this connection. They thought if they would step back, you would come forward. And if it was delayed, you would wait. See that with judgment. And if they were quiet, you would feel it more. But what they saw contradicted that. Do you see that? Ace of Pentacles. That's not you leaving. That's not you scanning the room for them. You weren't looking for their attention. You were unbothered. And that's when the sun happened. And their pride flared. And I'm seeing someone like stiff, shoulders stiff, eyes are narrowing, kind of eyebrows burrowed, you know, like just a look of like betrayal. And it's almost like this person was comparing themselves. Like, who are they talking to? Why are they smiling like that? Since when did they look that confident? Were they always this attractive? And then there's this thought they don't want to admit. Do other people see them the way I see them? That one hurt them the most because they believe they had a unique position in your life. They believed they were the center of gravity for you. I know that sounds crazy. And suddenly you look like someone that wasn't revolving around anyone. You were your own sun. You were your own person. And that made them go into panic. Do you see that? This isn't longing or sadness. This is them like ego, sharp knife, sword. See that? Alert. They're like I said, just like puffing up their chest. You see that Page of Pentacles, putting their chin up high, like, but I've got this, you know, reasserting themselves, reinserting themselves. I'm sorry. Because something about you not react. Did you see that this was in reverse here? You not reacting activated this competitive part in them. And they're like, I can get that attention too. I'm not bothered. I don't care. But their body was like already saying like, yeah, bro, you care. So they felt it. The High Priestess, this is their emotions. There was like a loss of dominance. You know what I mean? Ace of Wands. There's this moment where you're like mid-convo with someone else. You're relaxed. You're engaged in it. You're laughing. You're smiling. And you don't even glance over at them. You don't check to see if they're watching you. You don't adjust your energy. You're just living, enjoying your time, continuing your conversation, like, and that lack of adjustment, like performance, like I said earlier, hit them harder than anything could have. Because in their mind, you always subtly leaned back towards them. See that? This is them getting defensive. They're like, but she's mine. She's mine. And you always responded to them. And this time, there was nothing. Their stomach dropped, but not in like a romantic way. This was in a territorial way. Communication. This is them stepping into ground that they assumed was theirs. And then their thoughts get super defensive really, really fast. This person's trying to show off. As soon as I was about to say that, the magician came out. Actually, you know what? They're thinking you're trying to show off. And that's making them scramble. That's not them showing off. They're trying to reinsert themselves in your life. Yeah. So instead of getting soft and winning you back, they just get harder. And that's going to just push you away. If you're the Queen of Swords here, yeah, like this energy is too dominant for your energy. They are unstable. They don't like that you look elevated. They don't like that you're being admired, that you're self-contained, you're okay without them. And them comparing themselves and being so insecure is pushing you away. They're wondering, see, they're up at night. Am I still the leverage? Am I still the one they look at first? And when they didn't automatically have that answer or that reassurance, that's where the irritation came up. And you probably felt them get colder, pile one, like shorter replies, kind of like edge in their tone, you know, just leaving at odd times. They're trying to recenter themselves because their instinct wasn't to confess, wasn't to admit it. It was to regain position. This person like flirted with someone right after, like they're just trying to get your attention, flirting with someone, trying to talk to other people, just get that attention back, even if it's negative attention. But internally, their pride was just like pacing. This isn't heartbreak. This isn't heartbreak. I'm not vulnerable. This is ego, their ego reacting to loss of status, quote unquote. And like I said, tight chest. I feel like my jaw's tight. Eyes are like watching you more than they want to. Because what shook them wasn't that you moved on. It was that you looked like someone who could. And you looked like you were okay. And that was the narrative that they were uncomfortable holding. See that? You're not holding. You're not waiting. You're chilling. You're centered. And for someone who believed they were the emotional sun in this connection, that was destabilizing to them. Their pride flared up, and instead of reaching for you, they reached for control. Follow us into pile 2. We'll see if you can resonate with anything in there, okay? Meet you there. Bye. Pile 2, welcome. So this person feels like doubtful. So just shuffle with me for a sec here because this feels very specific. This wasn't dramatic. This wasn't loud. This was a moment that they saw something and their stomach sort of just dropped. I'm seeing them pause, like physically stop dead in their tracks. And they were about to text you. Their jaw sort of tightened up and their breath sort of got like, you know, because something didn't really line up with what they had in their head should happen or would happen previously. This person believed they were secure with you and that they always had a place in your life and that access to you was like a given. And then they saw it. Look at that 9 of Swords. You got 2 9s. I think it was like a name of an ex mentioned or could be a shift in your own tone too. And you just stopped replying the way you normally do. Emperor. It didn't feel neutral to them though. Like it felt like they were a bit displaced, like out of place, you know? I'm hearing a thought of like, wait, when did that happen? And their body sort of reacted right before they could even process it. And I feel like they're like, they have this hollow feeling under their ribs and they almost like they get physically ill. This person was worried about their importance in your life. You know what I mean? Like they feel like they weren't that important anymore. Oops. This person has a very quiet insecurity that they keep sort of under wraps and they don't let anyone else see it, but they keep it on the inside. So instead of confronting you and communicating, see that communication card, they start comparing. Who is that? How long has that been there? Do they even laugh with them the way they laugh with me? Like they're comparing. Is she texting him all the time now? And the scariest part is like you didn't have to do anything extreme. It was just the smallest little, I don't know, deviation from their expectation. You know what I mean? Like it was the smallest little thing. You didn't reach out first. You didn't, I don't know. You seemed fine. And you have Leo here too. Did I say that? You have Aries here. They actually thought that you needed them a lot more than this. Well, let me say that again. They believed you needed them more than they needed you. And when they saw evidence that you were all good by yourself, maybe even getting out, doing new things without them, see that? They kind of started really doubting themselves, doubting the relationship, doubting the potentiality of it. So they're like going through old convos, rereading tones. Was that shorter than usual? Why did they put a period here? Why do they sound distracted? Why aren't they sending me voice notes like they usually do? But they don't ask you. They just kind of fester in it. And it grows into even more doubt than it was. This is like really big insecurities. Asking, was I enough? Because they're sensing that Two of Cups. They thought they were significant with you. Not replaceable either. And they don't think that there's something like external that made them feel replaceable. It could be a person, a thing, or I don't know, a place. And that kind of triggered their rejection. Because being replaceable makes you question your value. Cherry picking here. This person's trying to act normal, though, after this moment. Like they might even overcorrect slightly and be super obvious about it. Or be super present, you know, or even more distant. Yeah, right here. Seeing if you notice, throwing it out and see if you reach for it. Because this person needs reassurance without asking for reassurance. You know what I mean? And that's their little spiral they go through. They start measuring your energy, and that's associated with their worth. So like if you're not initiating, they get worried and they think that they're not good enough. And if you seem excited, that's something that doesn't involve them, they notice it and they feel inadequate. But they won't tell you that. They internalize it. 3 of Swords here. I thought I mattered more than that. Like it's almost like they're embarrassed that they put you on this pedestal, you know? And they thought they were super secure here. And they thought that their place with you was obvious. And now they're wondering, did I imagine this? This person isn't dramatic with their insecurity, though. They're controlled. But control doesn't mean calm. Their thoughts are looping inside. Was I too much? Was I not enough? Did I misread everything? And here's what makes this heavier. They don't want to compete. They don't want to compete. They don't want to look insecure. So they withdraw slightly. Not as punishment, not to be, you know, rude with you, but it's to protect themselves. Because if they feel like their position's unstable, they brace themselves. And that's what this is. Emotional bracing. because something you did or something they saw disrupted the illusion that they were central, that they were your Two of Cups, that they were your only one. And now they're scanning for proof that they still matter, proof that like they haven't really been like downgraded. You know what I mean? This energy is tight in the chest. It's, like shallow breathing. It's late night thinking, but not sending the text. Wanting reassurance, but refusing to ask. 8 of Pentacles. And here's the thing though. They didn't think they were replaceable. And now that idea even exists in their body, they just don't know what to do with it. So they sit with it, Hierophant. They overanalyze everything. And they try to regain emotional control. But the foundation shifted, switched up. So even if you didn't notice, they felt it deep. That's the energy of this pile. Follow us into pile 3. See if we can get you some more answers. We'll see you there. Bye. Pile 3. Welcome. This one feels kind of possessive here. I need a sec with this energy. It feels like tight as I'm shuffling here. There's like a moment that hits you fast. Whoa. This wasn't a slow connection. This person's body reacted way faster than their mind could have. Like this is like a photo or a comment or something they saw trip them out. Your name next to someone else's somewhere. And I'm telling you, their chest tightened up. Like there was this split second inhaler, like, like their jaw tightened. Their shoulders went rigid. There wasn't sadness. It was like, it wasn't heartbreak. It was like intrusive thoughts they can't stop. Because in their map of reality in their mind, you were still within arm's reach. Not defined or anything like that, but definitely accessible. You were someone that they could circle back to, like someone they could check in on whenever that was like, I don't know, suitable for them, convenient for them. And then they saw something that suggested like, I don't know, that door is kind of closed. Like maybe I'm not really relevant anymore. And something primitive kind of came up here. So I keep seeing this image of them staring at their phone longer than they should. And they're like looking, and then like scrolling, going down, zooming in and just like, I don't know. It's just like their brain's trying to find like some flaw in what they're seeing, trying to find a reason for it. Because if it's real, then the dynamic changed without their permission and they have someone to blame. And that's the part that sort of shook them up a bit. It's not the romance. It's like the access that's making them question things. Sharp, irritation. You have Leo and you have Gemini here. Inside, they're very agitated. This person didn't consciously walk around thinking, she's mine, he's mine. But there's this like unspoken assumption that you guys were a thing. Like, I don't think you guys made it official. This person feels like you should have prioritized them even if you weren't official, is what I want to say. You also have Cancerian energy here. There's this also a sense of like shared attention, shared energy. And they got really upset with that. They didn't like that feeling. They got really territorial when they realized that they were sharing your attention with someone. They were like, that's my yard. You're not allowed in my yard. That's what I feel like. So it's interesting because you got the 6 of Cups here. This is ego flaring. Internal dialogue sort of just... your internal dialogue, and this is them saying, I don't care. And their body's already like reacting to things. This person almost reached out with you, not to like confess, not to open up, not to apologize, but to reestablish their position in your life. to remind you that they're still there, to remind you they're still relevant, to like reinsert themselves into your awareness, into your world. Because what shook them wasn't you being happy. It was you being engaged with someone else, emotionally engaged with someone else. That's where the tension comes in. The moon. Yeah, they don't think they owned you, but they were used to being centered in your world, even in absence. Oh, whoa. This person assumed you would stay available. Yeah. And when something visually contradicted that, the magician, their instinct to, control was activated. There's also comparison here. Who's that? Since when? Why didn't I know that you knew them? Notice how like they're not wondering, is that person good for you? It's how did that happen? How'd you meet them? I wasn't watching. My back was turned. That's the territorial. Yeah, they're not protective in a nurturing way. It's like they think they're entitled to your life. Like they're worried that if they're at the table, they're not going to get noticed. And I'm getting this like weird feeling in my third eye because this shook their confidence. Like this person thought they could just fade away and then come back whenever they wanted. They thought they could just, they could just go and come back as they wanted. And when they saw proof that you weren't just going to wait around and stick around for them, they lost that sense of control they had, and they don't like that feeling. Page of Pentacles. They don't like not knowing where they stand. They don't like imagining you with someone else, It irritates them. It activates them. It triggers them. And here's the part that feels almost like instinctual. The Empress, that's you. So they have this internal mind, like mind tickling impulse. Like there's heat that's rising behind their eyes, sort of. It's hard to explain. Like it's like their blood pressure's raising and they feel like they need to step in and take up space to make their self known. It's really hard to explain, but it's like impulsive, But this person doesn't know how to do that properly. It feels like they come across really rude. It's like, what right? Because like, what right do they have to react that way? Because they can feel their reaction is kind of out of touch and they can't justify it. So they don't do it. And so they just lurk and watch and be creepy about it. And then they try and be nice about it and like try and get your attention in nice ways, but then it just seems desperate. And this is all because there's someone else or something else that's taking your attention and they're worried. It's all because this is a tower moment for them. Yeah, this person's super like destabilized. They're out of balance. Page of Swords. This is entitlement. It's being confronted. So their ego couldn't smooth it over, couldn't hide things. So their immature entitlement came out, and you probably saw that. So for a second there, they felt irreplaceable, and that's what freaked them out. And I'm sure you're going to see that here. The Sun. Thank you so much for spending your energy with me. Check out my next video, and we'll get you some more answers. Bye.